Hi guys, Fer here.
Hi guys, Nico.
We are gonna be playing Barney Lake, our latest game. It's kind of a visual novel, text adventure kind of game, uh, illustrated on pixel art. I did the art and the music design, the music and sound design, and Nico did the coding, writing, and game design. So this is a game about three friends in the 50s having a summer vacation, and it's lots of fun. Maybe Nico can tell us a little bit more about who these three kids are.
Yes, as Fer told you, this is a story about three friends. You have Shimi, Christine, and Doug, and they are really good friends. This is their fourth vacation in Barney Lake, so there's an aspect of familiarity that's really important for us in order to tell our story. They are being bullied by a guy named Brandon. So you can see here, for example, that Shimi is looking really worried,
Warrior.
and you can see that Christine and Doug know. We are going to discover why in a bit. Not here because we are playing through the game really fast, but if you buy the game or if you play the demo, this is from the demo, this is chapter 1, so you can play it before buying our game. You are going to discover what really happened and why Shimi is so worried. So it's a story about three kids being bullied and also a story about three kids meeting a wounded vampire. And these two aspects of the story are really important because, as you can see, they collide. So you have like a bully in one side and a wounded vampire in another. So the story is, as we've told you, it's about them, but also it's about what really happened in 1954, the year of this particular vacation. And it's divided in two timelines, really. The first timeline is this one, as if it were the present, 1954, and the second one is set in 1981, so some years after that. And we are going to see some of it in a bit, but it follows the story of a paranormal investigator, a writer that's trying to figure out what really happened in this particular summer. He's writing a book. You don't know much about it, but throughout the game you're going to discover so. So yes, that's basically it. It's lots of fun, as Fer already told, and it's not just reading, but you're going to be confronted with lots of mini games and different interactable interactive bits. Sorry, I tend to to create words, but Fer, maybe you can tell us something about how we design minigames and how we try to make them flow within our games.
Yeah, sure. Something that is really fun, I think, about these kind of games that we are doing is that you are playing not only one character, but you jump in between the characters, and sometimes you are Shimi, sometimes you are Christine, sometimes you are another character. So having this way of living the game, you interact with mini games inside the game or some puzzles, and we try to approach this in a way that if you get stuck in one of those mini games, you can keep going with the story. You can choose to do another thing, to don't play the game when it's presented to you. There's always a way to keep the story moving, so that's kind of fun. It's also fun having the same game played by different characters, and that's I think a cool way to unlock achievements and having this narrative moving and just enjoy the game. If you are just wanting to read and enjoy the story, you can do it. But also, if you like to play, like here, a game of solitaire, you can spend a little bit of time on that. It's also you can play it from the menu once it's unlocked, so that's also cool. You can play the story, but also you can access the mini games in another ways, and that's, I think, something special. Yeah.
Yes, and just to illustrate what Fer is telling you, here we have a game called 10 Solitaire 10. This is a game created by Doug. Doug is kind of a proto game designer. He's a kid, so his games tend to be experimental in the best possible way. So here you have like an initial card. Here the initial card is the 2. So if you choose cards that are from the same color, you are going to add that quantity to your value, and if you chose cards that are from the opposite color, they are going to subtract. So here, for example, I made a 10, so that's why I stopped playing, because I want you to show that I made a 10. This is the objective of the solitaire. So if you make a 10, you can add the sum to the pot, and this is how the game is played. But also, if you are bored of the game, as Fer told you, the game within the story of the game, we call this the diegetically viable option to exit the game. You have the possibility to not play it, and the story is going to make sense. For example, here I can say just exit and stop playing, and the game is going to tell me that I can focus on the game, and you're going to put some excuse to Doug, and the story will continue. So it allows us to add so many layers to the games, because you can play our mini games, you can really enjoy them and be really invested on them, but you can also skip them if you just want to keep the story flowing, and that's something that we are really trying to achieve in all our games. So, well, I'm going to continue.
Yeah, art-wise, we are working this kind of mix between comic book and illustration. Sometimes you have some animated loops on the story, so it's always I think fun to see and see what the game gives you back, kind of as a reward for some of the scenes. This is the second timeline that Nico was telling about.
Exactly.
What year is this, Nico?
This is 1981. Sorry if we are like skipping a lot, but we want you to enjoy the story and to buy our game,
yeah.
Obviously. So we are just showing enough for you to be interested into the game, hopefully. So here in 1981, everything is under the point of view of Lou Hill, a paranormal investigator and writer. And as you can see, and Fer is going to expand on it right now, it's a different mood than the summer vibes of 1954 that we've just seen. So Fer, if you want to talk more about this.
Sure. We are using I'm going to say this in Spanish, that is my language, ZX Spectrum. I think the console is CX Spectrum, but it's hard to say for us. And we are working with that color palette. It has 8 colors and 2 levels of bright or contrast. So we are using that limited color palette to try to convey this moody feeling. And even to make it harder, we are working with less of those colors, just to have a strong identity for the game. and in the game for each of the timelines. So this one doesn't has yellow, as you may notice, and I think it breaks a little bit with the summer vibes that we were seeing in the other chapter. It was a lot of fun to work with these restrictions, I think, and it's fun to always think ways to make it interesting for the player. And pixel art is something that we really love. We grew up playing games done on pixel art, and it was fun to make a game doing that for ourselves, but trying to give it a twist somehow. So we are doing sometimes more of a comic book approach to the kind of illustration with heavy shadows and chunks of black on a screen. And I think it works really well with the kind of pulp story that we are writing. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, so here is just for you and maybe wrap up this kind of fast showing of our game. Here you can see two people, Shimi on the left and Christine on the right, and as you can expect, they are the same Shimi and the same Christine as the first chapter, so they are adults here in their 40s. This is important because there's an element missing here. Where's Doug? Doug is not here, so what really happened in Barney Lake might be related to that, as you can suspect from from this particular title screen, in which you have a poster that says missing, and the picture of someone that you can see it's Doug. So this is the whole setup for the game, and I think it's a good way to end this the showing of our game. I don't know, Ferry, if you want to add something.
No, that just that if people want to know what happened to Duke, please play the game. We hope you enjoy it. We put a lot of effort into it and a lot of love. It's a story of friendship, and I think that's the main thing. And that's all. We appreciate you for being here, for hearing our thoughts on Barney Lake, and hope you enjoy it.